Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to use my Alignment Plus plugin. What the Alignment Plus plugin allows you to do is align parts or models or attach them. Now, so aligning will allow you to align on a certain axis, whether it be X, Y, or Z. So this could be useful if you just want to align just one component. For example, let us align the Z-axis of these two parts. So the first part selected will be aligned to the second part you select on a different face. So let's align this face with this face, and as you can see, it is brought at the same level. And the same can be done here. You select this face and you bring it here, and that'll actually just move the part automatically for you. Now you can even take it a step further, and if you wanted to like bring this whole if you want to bring this whole face here without doing all that alignment stuff, you can. It's called attach to. So you want to do attach and attach. And you can, as you can see, you can also select these edges when you attach. Now this could be useful. So for example, let's say you have some random rotation, very random, 45 degrees, very random. And I wanted to attach this edge to this edge to maybe make like a 45-degree angle with each other. And whoopsie. So let me select here, then here. And as you can see, it'll make a perfect angle because it will attach at its corner. And you can do this with any edge, or you can even do it with its own face. For example, I'm going to align this edge with this face, and it will go in the center because that's where the edge will meet that face. Or you can, if you want to put the part inside each other, you can. You just select. You can just do that if you really want it. Yeah, you probably won't need to do that. And also, maybe using parts may not be the most useful part of this plugin because you may not need to align a singular part. But if you do, you have the option. But where this part can be useful is aligning models and very complex models. For example, let's go over here. So I want to align this model next to this one. But here, the problem is when you try to do that, it's a little bit off center for certain models, and this one happens to be one of them. So first, we want to bring this model face to this one. So we'll align, take this, and then we'll align this face with this one. Now we want to bring it flush with the back of this model. Let's do that, like that. And just in case, maybe they're a little bit off, let's fix that. Now, I want to put this model on top of this model perfectly. And sometimes you may not get that chance. Might be a little bit weird too because of the certain model. And so in this case you can, but maybe you won't be able to do it too easily. So for example, let's just bring this up. And then bring this over here. Oop, let me undo that. And now it's perfectly flush with each other. Now you can even get deeper into this. Let's say you have a house that you want to bring down to the ground perfectly. In order to do this, make sure you enable align root most model. Now, but this is why this is important because this driveway, its first model happens to be house, but let's say we had this in its own model. An aligned rootmost model is not enabled. So if this is not enabled, it will get the part you're selecting first model that's its ancestor. For example, the first model of this ancestor, the first model of this part is model. So it will get the first one that it finds in its ancestry. So let's see what happens when we try to align. And also you need to select include lock parts. So it will actually just align that model. This can become handy later though. But first, I want to align this whole house down to the ground. So let's just align rootmost model. And and what this will do is take the model, the part you're aligning, align it, and then it will take everything with it. So it will do this without actually setting the primary part. So it's non-destructive to anything you're doing just in case. Now, let's say we have something in this house. Like you see this trim is kind of off. And you know, of course, it'd be easy to do this, something maybe, but or it might be a little bit off, it might be hard. But you want to make sure it's perfect. Well, you can actually do this if you want to assign attach to. And for this, you need to make sure you do part only, because if you were to do the whole thing, well, you can't select anything in here because this whole thing is being ignored. So you can select this, and that will do that, but you probably don't want to do that. So what you want to do is actually part only, and this will only align the part instead of the model. So this is useful if you're working within a model. Now, let's say you have these potted trees for some reason in your driveway, so you scrape up your beautiful car. You never know. You just want to take it to the shop for fun. You have that money. So for this, we're going to make sure part only is off, include lock parts is off, and align rootmost model will be off in this case because these trees are in their own model. So I actually only want to align this tree. And since it's in its own model, I can take off align rootmost part, select this, and boom. So now it's in its potted plant, perfectly center. Now let's say we have a little garden, and this garden is a little bit far away, and you kind of want to, for some reason, put it near your driveway again, so you scrape up the right side of your car when you drive out. So I'm going to actually align this, and I want to make sure I get the rootmost part, and I will take this, align it here, and here, and here, and now I actually want to, instead I want to make sure these are not digging to the ground, so I'm going to raise that up a little bit, and there you have it, your little garden. Or if you want, you can rotate this, put this here, you know, bada bing, bada boom, and I'll do it for you. So now you can just take your car, go out, obviously through the garage door, go in here, and scrape up your car even more if you really wanted to. Now, on the note of scraping up cars, let's see, you can see this car is quite rotated. And what you want to do is you actually want to get this car easily in this garage. That is very empty, actually. So now you can try to drag it in and everything, but it might be a little bit pain in the butt, and you want to actually align, wow. And you actually want to align it to this door in some fashion. Basically, I'm making up things so I can make my plugin look good. But let's ignore that. So in order to do this actually can be something that could be useful for guns as well. You can use face look vector towards normal. What does that mean? Let's enable this. This can only be done if attached to is enabled. So what happened is, so first let's take a look at this part right here. So this part normal is in this direction, or this part's front face is in this direction. So it will face the look vector or the front face towards the normal of the second part. Now what does that mean? So when we select a part, let me just get out of this real quick. So when we select a part, this, you know how this is highlighted? So this is selecting the face, but the normal is pointing outwards of this blue selection. So it points outward from the part. So if I select that part and bring it here, it will actually take it and align that front face away from the normal you select. So this can be useful for, now this is actually perfectly aligned now. Now let's say, okay, well, we need to bring it to the ground. Well, luckily, we actually can do that. Align that wheel with the ground and watch it do its magic. Oh, you have to look vector away from normal. There you go. And yeah, I should be able to fix that. That was just a little bug on my part. I'm gonna hopefully fix that before releasing it. Anyway, so now I'm gonna select this face with this. Now you have your car perfectly in the garage. Now you might want to back it up a little bit. Like, no, not like that. In fact, no, there you go. So now this car is perfectly in line with the door. So when it goes out. And that is the basis of my plugin. And you can do, this can be used for a lot more things. And one little thing that I did not include is floating point correction. So when I do these calculations, there will be a little bit of a floating point imprecision when I align things. For example, let's say I align this face with this face. The first time I align it, it might be off by hundreds or thousands or 10,000ths of a stud, which is nothing. It really is nothing. It's so nitpicky. But with this enabled, it will run that same calculation about 5 more times. And it's a hard coded repeat value. And it will run that 5 other times, or if it detects that the distance between the faces are like nothing. It's like it returns 0. If it doesn't return 0, then it will keep repeating 5 more times. And if it's still not technically aligned by then it will just say, okay, forget it. It's going to be floating point imprecise forever, or like not totally 100% flush. But by that time, you will not notice a gap. It's just something that's there for like for your peace of mind. But you can keep it enabled or you can disable it. It's really up to you. But keeping it enabled is basically just free. It doesn't cost too much. It doesn't really cost any performance overhead. It's only done like 5 other times. So it's really up to you. But it's kind of a nitpicky thing for like people like me who like, oh, it's not 100% perfect. But that's a little ramble. But you can keep it enabled. It won't hurt anything. If anything, it'll make it technically more flush. But yeah, that's my little plugin. I hope it's useful. And if you have any comments or any kind of help needed, or any kind of bug, just let me know on Twitter at CisosQuaka. You can just also DM me or leave a comment or whatever. Or you can find me on Discord. Yeah, thank you very much for watching.